Hey you guys, and welcome back to my channel. I have heard your cries. A lot of you have reached out and said, Beast Academy is too hard, it's difficult, or I don't really have the time to put in to sit there with my child and help them struggle through. Or you may say, this is just not for my son or daughter because they don't need that type of challenge, or they won't flourish with that type of challenge. All it's going to do is just fluster them, frustrate them, and in return, frustrate you as parent. So what I'm going to do is show you some other resources and supplements that I use within our home education. And I also used these same things when my son was enrolled in school full time. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Aunt Sakara was a teacher who specialized in teaching math to gifted students, and he eventually developed his own line of supplemental math books to meet their needs. So his series has three main books, okay? Primary grade, which is for grades 1 through 4, upper elementary, challenge math, which is grades 3 to 5, and then challenge math for elementary and middle school, which is a book for grades 5 to 8. Now that's for gifted children. So if your children are not gifted, however, you consider them to be mathy, or you consider them to be a traditional learner, or if you consider them to have a few challenges when it comes to math, that's okay because this curriculum can still be used. And it's not a curriculum. These books can still be used because each book has various levels based on your child's learning ability and capabilities. And as they progress in their mathematical reasoning and understanding of patterns and things of that nature, they can move up the different levels within the book. But I will show you exactly what I mean when I'm talking about that. Okay, so let's dive on in. Here is what the challenge math book for the elementary and middle school students, this is what it looks like. And earlier in the video, I said that it's good for, up to the 8th grade. However, this book can be used for high schoolers. Here is how the primary grade challenge math book looks like. Okay, and as you can see to the right, grades kindergarten through 4th, but this can probably go up to the 6th, 7th grade. It just depends on where your child is in terms of mathematical reasoning and their critical thinking skills. I am going to do a flip through in this video as I talk, so hopefully you don't mind and that's okay. I want to first show you the table of contents. And if you notice, you see astronomy. There is math in astronomy. So if you are doing any type of astronomy with your children, may it be a unit study, you're just, you happen to be discussing it for any apparent reason. If you want to tie in science, you can utilize the practice problems or questions or word problems within this type of book to give you the information you need. And I love the table of contents because, as you can see, it identifies all math areas. So again, this is not supposed to be used as a main curriculum. This is only supposed to be used to supplement your main curriculum. And that's because this series will sometimes explain basic concepts, but they assume that the students are receiving systematic instruction elsewhere, okay? So the books will basically present the students with word problems that will challenge their math and thinking skills, and it will reinforce basic concepts that the writer of this book assumes that they already have learned, or they are currently learning the material. So let's say money. Let's say you're teaching your child money. And again, right now, we're looking at the upper elementary challenge math, which they say is for grades 3 to 5 for gifted students. Again, if your child is mathy or traditional, or they have a little bit of challenge, this can be extended all the way through high school just to give them some additional practice in terms of word problems, okay? So money, chapter 5, and that's on page 57 through 67. So let's go ahead and go to 57 through 67. So look at how it introduces it. And I love this as well. It starts off with an example. It gives you some graphics. All of his books are in black and white, by the way. Hopefully that doesn't bother you. It doesn't bother me. And based on the example that they have laid out, every lesson starts off with something like this, a little cartoon, okay? They tell you to do these problems. These problems may be basic, they may not be difficult. If you're working it out with your student or your child, you just want to maybe do a few with them just to make sure their thought process is correct when they are solving the problem, making sure when they write out their problems that they are doing it in a step-by-step approach, going down the long way, making sure that their numbers are aligned properly. And for our home education, we use grid paper for any type of math problem because that just keeps everything in sync, neat, consistent, and it just helps my son stay organized. Again, we're still in money. It introduces, the currency for Europe, the euro. And then they give you some problem sets. Every problem set that they give you has various levels. The warm-up is just to get you started, get you a little excited, right? Level 1 is the easiest. And if you notice here, it says research is needed. So right here, you're also teaching your child research skills for this particular problem. They would have to go outside of this book, find out some additional information in order to utilize it and figure out how to utilize it, analytical skills, in order to apply it using critical thinking skills to this particular problem. Level 1 should be easy. Level 2 gets a little bit more difficult, may require a little bit more work, a little bit more thinking. Level 3 is difficult for some people. Some students may not find this difficult at all if they're gifted or if they're really mathy or whatever. Genius, those are your gifted students, okay? And your child doesn't have to be gifted in order for them to get level 3 or genius. And who even determines who is gifted and who's not gifted? How does one determine if their child is gifted? We're still on money. Problem set 2. Again, warm up, level 1, 2, and 3. And you have your genius level. So 4 different levels. And all of his books basically have this same type of format. So let's say this book here, they say is for grades 5 through 8, right? I'm sorry, grades 3 through 5. So let's say the warm up, everybody should do. That just gets you started, gets your juices going, your brain flowing, right? Level 1 will probably be for your 3rd grader, level 2 for your 4th grader, level 3 for your 5th grader, and the genius can be for your 6th, 7th, 8th grader, or maybe your 3rd, 4th, and 5th grader can use this as extra practice to further enhance what they've learned. In the genius level, all it does is pull in additional information, causes a little bit more application, causes them to use information that they've already learned and determine if they can find the pattern, the connection, in order to resolve the problem. Or not resolve the problem, but to find the solution. I'm going to just keep on flipping through this book for you. I did not purchase the primary challenge book only because I started this with my son in the 3rd grade when he was in traditional school full time, and I didn't want the primary because it said kindergarten through 4th. I wanted something that we could have used a little bit longer, but looking back, that book could be used all throughout elementary school, kindergarten through 5th. And if your child has challenges in math, you can work that through even, in the 6th, 7th, 8th grade. It just totally depends on your child. Follow your child's curiosity and follow your child's capabilities in terms of learning. Okay, just because something says 3rd grade doesn't mean it's 3rd grade for your child. If they say middle school doesn't mean it's middle school for your child. You make that decision, right? But since I have two younger children, more than likely when they get to the kindergarten age, I more than likely will go ahead and invest in the other book. Also, if you notice, I do not have the elementary and middle school book. And that's something that I thought about investing in. But since we do Beast Academy, I felt as though there was no need for me to invest in that. Since my son enjoys Beast Academy, he's doing well in Beast Academy. He struggles, absolutely. That's what it's intended for. You want to struggle. You want to teach focus and perseverance and, taking your time and not giving up. That's also a part of Beast Academy. And that's also a part of this. This teaches those same characteristics and life skills as well. But for my younger children, if I find that Beast Academy is something that does not work well for them, I more than likely will purchase the elementary and middle school math challenge book. Okay, so do what works best for you guys. Let me go ahead and show you the answer key. So I like the answer key also because it gives you the information step by step. It tells you the answer and it explains the process in which they got the answer. Okay? And if you find that the answer key isn't sufficient for you in terms of providing detailed information, you can always go back to this corresponding lesson and you can read the example that they provided or the brief lesson they provided, because those are actually extremely detailed. Okay? So let me show you another book that's not a part of his series, but it's great for middle school, high school, and beyond. This is a great supplement for those students beyond the elementary school. This actually teaches you strategies, okay, through word problems. So this is where you're going to learn how to analyze a problem, how to process the problem logically and with accuracy. How to think critically about the information that's provided, how to pull in other information in order to determine if your solution is best. And again, it has the various levels depending on where your child is. So let's look at the table of contents. And again, it's still using a bit of cartoon or graphics to explain things to you. So here are the various strategies. His strategies that he created, Think 1 and the 2-10 method. Those are the ones that I know for a fact that he created himself as a mathematician and as a teacher for gifted students. Everything else is basic strategies that you can use to answer problems. I would not give this to an elementary school student to read or figure out. You can read this as parent or tutor in order to help your student or child understand math a bit better. But in middle school and high school, I think it's a-okay to go ahead and throw this at them and say, look at it, read it, assign a few pages depending on what they're learning in math in order to help them further understand different concepts, okay? So this one, they have several. This is, right here. Let me start off a bit slower here. So let me show you. So they introduce the concept or the math strategy, okay? I'm going too fast. Please just pause it. If you can't see it, just zoom in, pause, and zoom in. Once they introduce it, they give you the the different levels. And they give you various problems for each level to practice based on what you just learned. So you have your level 1, your level 2, your level 3, and you have your genius level. So again, you're solving the problems based on the math strategy that was taught. And then they go on to the next strategy. So again, they break it down by strategy, explain it with great detail and examples, and then they go ahead and give you the problems to go ahead and solve. Let me go to the back of the book and show you the answer key. So again, same thing. I think they do an excellent job in breaking the information down to help you understand how they got the answer. And look at this. They even say a common wrong answer is choice 1. And they talk about why that's wrong. I love that. So if your child selected a problem, they'll explain or selected an answer that was incorrect based on how the majority of students would answer this problem. You know, they tell you why it's not correct. I love it. Let me show you another one. These are for those students who want to become mathematicians or scientists. I would even throw in engineers. So this is a great book right here for your STEM leaders and your STEM students, or those persons who want to go into those types of career fields: science, technology, engineering, mathematics. Let me turn to the back and have you read what it says. Mathematicians and scientists have been closely tied to many famous disasters. The Challenger explosion, the failure of the Mars orbiter, and the Kansas City Hyatt Regency walkway collapse all involved thinking errors. So maybe what you can do before you introduce this to your STEM student, you can have them look up those various disasters to see what happened. Watch a video on what happened to further explain how this occurred due to thinking errors, okay? This book presents 10 things that future mathematicians and scientists, but I'm going to say anybody in the area of STEM, must know to prevent these kinds of tragedies from occurring, okay? So I love that they're teaching the students through actual events that occurred. This is real life. It's easy to apply and understand. They're using real life events, going back and finding the root cause and then talking you through why it was a problem. Where was the error? I love it. My son has not started this book. This is something I would give him in upper middle school and in high school. Let's take a look. Here is your table of contents. And it looks like every chapter is broken down by a thinking error or a thinking strategy. And then they give you real life examples for each chapter. This is so easy to apply science to. So if you are one of those educators that love unit studies or tries to find math problems for science and history to tie everything together, this is an awesome way to do it. Okay, so let's look at the chapter and let's see if they break it down by levels as well. So here is the example they're using. They explain what happened. They explain what went wrong. And then they give you a few questions, discussion questions. So this is not like the other ones where they give you math problems to solve. This is more of conversations, dialogue, discussion questions to help you pull in everything you learned together. Okay, let's look at another one. I love this. I'm going to do a separate video on this and how you can utilize this for cross-curricula opportunities. Oh, this one they give you levels. Okay. So this one has actual problems with different levels. Okay. So some are discussion questions, some are actual problems. And let's look at the answer key in the back. So they give you an actual write-up of the answers. And keep in mind, guys, when you have your children do stuff like this, they don't have to get the exact answer in terms of the writing. If it's a discussion question, it does not have to be perfect, but it should be precise. The math should be precise, meaning it should hit the high points. Okay? So that was it, guys. I hope you found this video of benefit. If you have any questions for me, leave them in the comment box below. And as always, you make it a wonderful and blessed day. Bye.